they can remember that and get through the hard times, that's what counts. You guys take it away for dry season ability and check out the poll from event.brawlstars.com. Take it away, Trav.
Wow, 51% to 49. It's a very, very close one. It's actually the way that we kind of wouldn't expect. With Zest winning both February and March monthly finals, you kind of expect them to have quite a significant lead in this poll, but Qlash are actually edging it by 1%.
Yeah, I feel like with the 0% win rate for Qlash in this matchup, most people should be cheering for Zest, or at least predicting Zest. But in all fairness, I mean, Qlash, they're definitely not a bad team, and if there's any team they've been studying, it's gotta be Zest.
Yeah, I mean, maybe they were kind of focused on getting through that semi-final as well. That's the thing. Maybe after losing against Bandit Lucas last month, they might not have scrimmed this one as much as they'd like to, as those top two spots are what people are kind of going for. First pick coming in there, we've got Zest going for the RT, which I can't say is, I don't think, too common on a map like Dry Season, especially in a mode like Bounty, where you can't really utilize that dropping in your legs and getting the big damage down unless you kind of have full control, which seems to definitely be quite rare on this map. Qlash's answer to that, though, is going to be Penny. Obviously, you're going to have that fourth man, the turret coming in, and just making quite a big impact, gusting off the back of that as well. And not really sure about that as much as some of the other brawlers that could have been picked, but I do like the Penny.
Yeah, I like the Penny as well. We saw Gus play out with great success in Knockout earlier. It's fairly different game mode, so I agree with you. I don't love Gus as much here, but I still think it's an okay pick. It doesn't really get hard counter too much. I think that if anything, it can get overwhelmed just a little bit. You know, if Brawlers manage to close the distance and push up and have a bit more damage, it can start struggling a little bit more. The Spark pick, I think, is quite a decent one here as well, especially considering both Grom and Tick are banned out. There's just not a whole lot of different thrower options available, and it means that Qlash more likely than not are going to be throwerless for this one.
Yeah, and I think that's a smart pick by Zest as well there. You know, as you say, with some of them being banned out, it's basically going to make them throwerless. And we know how strong throwers are going to be on a map like this. Usually one team's got Sprout, one team's got Grom. They kind of have that thrower off, but this time it doesn't seem to be the case. Zest going to be picking up that Bell as their final pick, extending that range a little bit more. Obviously, Sprout's got decent range, RT's got decent range, and Qlash, they do have it, but they're going to also have some difficulty getting up against this Sprout with no thrower.
Yeah, maybe this is an opportunity to go for something aggressive. I mean, the RT can shut down aggressive ideas just because of the amount of damage it can deal up close. It did get nerfed on that aspect, so it's not going to be as good at it nowadays. No, they're just going to go Barley, so they will have a thrower at the end of the day. I just feel like Sprout from here is quite a bit more impactful in general, just a little bit more range, and the walls really enable your team to see some ground. But I kind of respect the decision here from Qlash as well to go for the Barley, because if you do manage to get an early lead, Barley is going to be very good in a defensive position too, just locking down some areas with his super or just spamming shots across his lane. I don't mind it. I personally do prefer the draft from Zest just a little bit, but I think Qlash have winning chances here.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I think you've kind of got to prefer the Sprout to the Barley, but I'm just not sure if the Barley's going to have that range required, and especially if they get these lane matchups right. I don't know if they'll want thrower against thrower, if they'll want something different, but it seems like Qlash do, and Zest maybe didn't on this one, but this is a matchup that Motep should win with the extra range.
Pekka is tagged very low HP, same for Kyodog, but VTZim is pushing forwards, really closing the distance. Pekka is one shot still, but I mean, VTZim runs after him all the way into his spawn. And obviously that's going to be a very short-lived push as he ends up going down. Kyodog is slowed in one shot, but Tufa somehow finds Motep, and the healing tonic from Tufa is huge as it heals Kyodog, and Tufa is straight back up to full HP.
Yeah, nice from them. They've got the control, but not the lead at the moment. It is just that one star in the blue deciding it out at the moment, but not going to last very long if they're not able to get out of the spawn with good time. Minute left, and Qlash surely have to get a kill if they're still in this position, but Sprout Wall's there, and it's kind of stopping Kyodog from pinching as well, so Motep's going to try and get a few shots onto him now, but Pekka not in the best of spots if they can eventually get this pinch back down, and Motep not using this range advantage seemingly against Tufa.
Yeah, not using his gadget either, and I think he's still quite a couple of shots away from his super, which is an interesting decision considering how little time is left, and I feel like he might even still have a gadget after that. nevertheless, Zest still in the driver's seat. Qlash are going to be the ones that have to initiate a push. The bounce from the bell is not quite going to get the kill into VT Zim, but Firecrow will find Kayo Dog. And Zest are now ahead by 3 stars. VT Zim finally has a mortar in place. Well, it's going to be tricky to remove from this position. Motep can't quite reach it for now. Tufa is going to be locked out of this fight. VT Zim very low HP. We have a trade to find Kayo Dog pushing up. But it's
extended when they wanted these kills. They took advantage of it. There was a point where the penny was just so low that we saw Gus coming in to help, and they just then turned their focus onto him and got him down, extended that lead, and brought home the win.
Blue Star is going to be picked up by Qlash, giving them the early lead. Kayo Dog tagged up, forced to fall back for the time being. But so far, so good for Qlash. They're willing to give up a little bit of control if it means that they keep that lead and hold on to tight angles, very defensive positions. VT Zim gets scouted and pushed out of the bush, but there's not really any sort of follow-up for Zest for now. A gadget popped by Kayo Dog. Despite getting some damage, it's not quite going to be enough to get a kill.
Yeah, some good control though from Zest, and this is kind of the opposite of what we saw in the last one. We saw Zest with that 1-star lead, and it was Qlash who were trying to make the aggressive push, but a nice wall from Motep might go down still though, as this Super's really in a great spot to zone him out, but Kayo Dog surviving a little bit longer, but Motep's not going to be now. Gets that long-range shot, and the Sprout Wall wasn't going to help him whatsoever there. Really nice stuff from Qlash to kind of take them down and stop them from pushing up, and without that thrower up in the mix, they're not going to be able to do as much.
Motep needs to assist with taking down this mortar because it's being a real problem, and Kayo Dog connects a lovely shot onto Firecrow. Hopes his second gadget in the process as well, but kill is a kill, and now it's 5 stars of a lead for Zest heading into the final 20 seconds. That's pretty big. Tufa's going to get shielded up as well, making sure that he can heal up easily and not be really contested by Motep. A pickup again from Tufa. But there is a trade. 4 stars means Zest still need 2 kills.
Firecrow's going to get hit by that mortar as well, and he does go down thanks to it also. Qlash are going to extend the lead to 12-3 by the end of the game. Even things
here is so incredibly crucial. Both teams really showing that they're struggling to retake the position and find kills if they don't start off with the lead. Tufa is low, he goes down early on so that Blue Star can be given up, but Pekka's overextension gets punished by Kayo Dog, and suddenly the Blue Star makes all the difference as Qlash are leading by 1 star.
Yeah, a few little bounce and sprout shots though, and good connections from Firecrow there as well. Already got his super, not sure how well he's going to be able to use it in a map like this. Not really in the best of positions to be able to push up and get some damage down, but Motep not having the best match against this Barley, and I thought it would be completely different. He's getting pushed back and his teammates are getting punished because of it. Lovely super yet again from Tufa to zone them out, and Motep just not able to get the positioning without any walls helping him.
Yeah, it's not easy to retake as Sprout. My assumption as well was kind of that, you know, they would put up a better fight for the Blue Star in the early game and then play defensively, as we pretty much just saw in game 1. However, games 2 and 3 have been very different. 3 stars now favoring Qlash. Pekka, incredibly low HP, forced to fall back and heal up so he can come back healthy to the next fight. Motep is in trouble. Firecrow very aggressive. I don't know if this is going to pay off. He does get a kill, but he ends up going down, and it's still 4 stars in favor of Zest, of Qlash.
Seems like it might have been worthwhile, but Zest, he's going to go down. Motep falls to the penny mortar, and that's got to feel bad at this point in the game. 30 seconds left on the clock, and Zest are down by like 8 at this point, and extended now to a 10-star lead. There's surely no coming back from this. Even all the kills in the world, they'd only just be able to bring it back, and not able to get these shots through. Pekka's not finding the bounces. Motep falls as well, and now this has got to be over for Zest. It is. Qlash not...
I mean, Qlash, they didn't have to be aggressing nearly as much, because once that Blue Star was taken, once the early game was theirs, Zest were unable to gain any ground and put any sort of pressure onto them. The defensive aspect of the game seems to be something that Qlash really mastered well too, and it was really just an unbreakable wall.
Yeah, I mean, Talking about unbreakable walls, this map has a lot of them as well, and it's quite altered heavily by those throwers once more, or at least seemingly in the APAC region yesterday. It was a lot of those throwers, and yeah, we're going to see the Barley and the Dynamite already banned out instantly over there by Zest. RT going to be the first pick once again. So even though it didn't work in that last one, they clearly have a little bit more faith, and I can see why, you know, with these unbreakable walls, if it goes to overtime, it can be very, very solid. But Qlash going to come in with the Willow, and I mean, Ark absolutely hates this Brawl, but I don't really mind it. It is definitely a little bit better in Brawl Ball than it is in parallel plays, and adding the beats and that to play through the mid as well against that RT is probably another smart decision from Qlash.
Willow as their first pick on the side of Qlash is a bold move. I mean, I much prefer it in Brawl Ball than in Hot Zone, where we did see it earlier. But now I'm also starting to wonder, you know, if maybe they rate that pick somewhat highly compared to other regions, since we did see it already earlier. Stu is going to be joining the ranks of Zest, and I do like that pick quite a bit. I mean, just, you know, get some aggression, potentially some wall breaks as well, or the speed zone. Overall, whichever way you go, it's a lot of utility that you bring onto your team, and versatility that is very valuable in Brawl Stars. We'll see Carl as the final pick for Zest, and again, probably that has just had proven results when it comes to Brawl Ball. A lot of mobility, lots of damage up close, really good chip damage, lovely interactions around walls as well with his shots, where he can just nicely curve them and make sure that he gets people out of their positions, especially on a map like that where you do have those kind of like little squares on the sides of the map where people can just kind of hide behind. He's going to be able to nicely deter anyone from having those sort of ideas. We'll see Colette as the final pick from Qlash. A direct counter to Carl can get him out of his super, but I don't know. I mean, I actually kind of, I'm saying I don't know, but I do know. I much prefer to come from Zest.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, I think it's kind of even. I do actually kind of like the Willow if it can prevent Stu from getting supers, if it can prevent RT from getting supers, staying behind those walls and getting the damage, then I think it can be pretty decent here. But as soon as Stu starts to get some mobility, if RT's, you know, in these legs form, so much damage is going to come down, it's going to be really difficult. And maybe if they get the matchups right, they'll still have a little bit of a say in this one, Qlash.
Motep playing carefully on that left side, whereas Pekka is incredibly aggressive. I mean, that's the thing against Colette. I think he has a pretty decent matchup, besides the fact that, you know, his super gets absolutely countered by the Colette super. Just the regular shots. It's not something that's necessarily too bad for Carl, but he's going to be rotating over to the left-hand side regardless. BTZM is very low HP, still looking for a kill. Motep wants to punish his aggression, but instead himself overextends, and Tufa is able to quickly dispatch of him. Gadget and follow-up super, but Pekka is going to be mind control, and suddenly his push gets deflated quite a bit, but once he gets out of the mind control, he nearly takes down Tufa.
Yeah, still in it though. Firecrow has the super as well, so if Kydog maybe goes aggressive, he might be able to drop it on him and get a good shot through, but some connecting marks. Great shots by Firecrow there as well, and a very right-centered push from Zest here, finally making the push in too for trying to get another super, but this time it's not going to happen. BTZM just going to push the ball up with Kyodog and possibly have an opportunity down the left there to try and slot the ball, and we're going to try and wait it out and play his favourable match against RT the best he can to start with.
Kyodog goes for his super, but gets punished. Zest take the man advantage, but was Motep low HP and good positioning from Tufa. Not really able to seize too much control until they find another kill in the mid. It's looking like, for now, Zest are able to slowly gain some ground. Kyodog is going to get absolutely melted by Firecrow. Firecrow needs to be careful. His legs are very low HP, but it's going to be the top that falls, actually. And for now, it seems like overtime might be where things are heading towards.
Yeah, and usually I'd say Zest, they probably have a little bit of a better comp regardless of the B, but with these unbreakable walls, they've got the Willow still, and that's going to be very, very strong. Supers quite heavily on the side of Qlash here as well, but Pekka making a great push from this left-hand side. Gotcha Gadget going to be popped on a super from Kydog, finishes him off as well. Motep's kind of low, and they've got to avoid feeding him super arrows. This could be quite dangerous. Firecrow now connecting some shots as well, and the Gadget pops straight onto the B also, but this position from Qlash and the supers they've got is really nice. Good kill from Kaodog as well. Shouldn't be too far off another super yet again. But VT's in trying to push for the ball, and they might be better off past it. Tufa here, gonna use that gadget and stay up, but needs to try and get this goal in, and maybe a little bit of a control and walk in would be the best opportunity. They're trying to go for it now. Kaidog's got the gotcha gadget as well. This should be a walk. The shot through could be there as well, but they're going to go right. He was spinning. They chose
A pretty convincing one too. I mean, it did come down to overtime, but I felt like for the most part they were in the driver's seat, had more control, and were doing better. Zest though have different ideas getting into game number 2, and their plan here is going to be to score really early on, as Pekka is going to go for a pass to Motep. Motep gets it through into the net, and Zest actually was an early goal this time around. We'll be picking up the early advantage.
Yeah, that's probably what needed as well, because it seemed like Zest had the control throughout the last game. Nice super there from Kaodog. Did actually cycle it out, but not able to use it again in time. Tufa's got this control as well. Going to pass the ball over to him, and VT's him trying to pick up Pekka, but the ball not going in the corner. Going to throw it up just a little bit more and try bait Ficro into coming into range of him being able to use the super on it.
Zest start pushing out. They have much better control now. VT's in, goes for the slow, connects onto Firecrow. Motep is low. A nice pickup from Kaodog on the right side, and suddenly there's not much of a push left here for Zest. Qlash rebuilding map control they previously lost, and hoping to find some better success. His super from Kaodog is not quite going to be as good as he was hoping for. He ends up going down, and it's a 2-on-1 as Tufa is alone in defense.
Pekka now, no flying hooks left, so can't really get in range as easy, and obviously might not want to against Kaodog either. Try and keep this range and stay out of his area, but some nice connecting shots from VT's in, gets the 3K in hand as well. That super still available from Tufa and not found much use out of it whatsoever. Seems like a very niche super to be able to use, but Kaodog not in the best position whatsoever, and Ficro will finish him off there. Slow coming in, multiple slows coming in from VT's in, pass to the right hand side, and that is a super shot and a goal by Zest.
As those guys are. Find the Willow super not always easy to connect, but on a spinning curl, it's maybe a bit ambitious. If he's strafing away, it's a hard shot to land. He did whiff it this time. We'll see if maybe he'll connect the next time. For now, early on, it's pretty decent control here for Zest, but they've pretty much given up on the left lane, which is going to be a problem because right now Tufa is pushed up very aggressively, and he's finding some good value. Although he does need to be careful. A good super from Kaodog finds a second. It's only Motep left alive. Suddenly, this is looking incredibly winnable for Qlash. But the HP situation is quite dire, and they're forced to fall back.
Yeah, that was yet another miss super by Tufa there, just maybe being a little bit uncautious with them, but he does get that kill. Pekka's going to clean up top though, and has got another one in hand. Needs to try and use it, but Motep trying to bait it out at the same time with that speed zone. Not really finding a lot from it. Still 0-0, and we know when it was like this in the first game that Qlash did come out on top in that overtime, so might be time for Zest to start taking it up in a gear and getting going.
Tufa melted by Motep. It's only the B left in defense, and so far it's looking like probably the most even game yet, as both teams have had their chances, have pushed up, have defended, but one of those teams is really hoping to break through here, either to claim a second set for Qlash or for Zest to even things out.
Yeah, Motep did fall quite low there, but BTZM couldn't quite finish him off. Got this slow as well, but Ficro still got some gadgets in hand, so when marked up, people are need to back off, and BTZM gets hit again. Not the best spot for them to be in, and Kaodog can't be too far off a super. Needs to try and get something going, but drops his legs and gets the damage done for Ficro, and a little bit of a mind control still there from Willow. The slow is as well from BTZM. Still hunting lasts in hand, and they're not in a bad spot, even though they are in spawn, but they need to quickly get out of this position before overtime kicks in.
20 seconds left. After that, the walls are going to be blown wide open, besides all the gray ones on the sides, of course. Pekka has super, so does Firecrow, and that is a bit dangerous, because when overtime kicks in, if you have control of the ball, you can try to go for a quick, cheeky goal, and right now with the man advantage, that may very much be the case. However, no more super, it's not gonna matter, because the pass, it wasn't a win condition, at least not enough of a win condition to really, you know, make the difference in this set.
Yeah, well, we are going to be moving on to Kaboom Canyon, so maybe they'll have some better chances to take another set home here for Qlash, but Zest, they're going to want to use this momentum that they've got now and just move forward with it, try and get as much work done as they can with this momentum and boost them there. But Boom Canyon is not a map we've seen in the past couple of months, but we did see it yesterday, and I did enjoy the gameplay we saw. Bans coming in now. The Eve, the Colette, we're going to see the first pick of Penny for the side of Qlash. Zest's final ban will be the Crow, and then Carl, Amber, and Max on the other side. Meg going to be one of the brawlers picked, and we know how influential that is at the moment.
Yeah, Meg is a really strong brawler at the moment, and I kind of like it here too. I mentioned speed gear on Meg earlier, and I quickly tested it out. It does work. We saw it actually earlier as well on parallel plays, and that might be something that can be quite decent here as well, considering how bushy the middle of the map is. That's pretty much, you know, one of the reasons why Bonnie is pretty good here too, because she can still go quite fast, whereas outside of the grass she tends to be on the slower end of things. It's not the only reason why she is good, but it does help for sure on those slower brawlers. Let's see what the rest of the draft is going to be looking like. I think Amber would have been quite a threat, but it's going to be banned out, so that's at least something that either team just don't have to worry about here.
Well, 8-bit's going to be the next pick from Qlash, and I do kind of like it. A little bit slow, and obviously Bonnie's going to be able to hit quite a lot of the shots and get the jump off, and if Meg can get control, then 8-bit's going to be a little bit tough to retake with, but once you get established, once you start getting that damage down, it can be very, very dangerous to have that amount of DPS against you for Zest, that is. And it's a Qlash with this last bit now as well. Zest's going to have the final one, so still have a chance to answer to these kind of brawlers. They're going to go with the Griff, and I mean, it does seem to be still pretty much only played in this region, but last time I kind of doubted it, and then it kind of worked, so I'm not going to doubt it this time.
Yeah, I personally don't really like it, especially against those brawlers. I feel like it just isn't necessarily the most influential pick, but then again, Qlash may have plans in mind that we just don't have. I do like Lola. I mean, I prefer the draft on the side of Zest. I wouldn't mind the draft from Qlash, but I'm kind of with you where I feel like Griff is just not the strongest at the moment, and I'm just struggling a little bit to see what sort of value they're hoping to achieve bringing him onto the table.
Yeah, I mean, I do like the Lola. I will say it's not every day you see Lola picked into Penny, but they've chosen to go for it, and obviously they needed some DPS to answer what kind of VT Zim was going to be bringing to the table with this 8-bit, so you know, Lola's DPS is probably one of the better answers to that, and if you can keep the matchups right, then there's still a very, very good chance of them winning. But I will say Penny's going to hit hard against pretty much all of these brawlers.
Yeah, you make a very good point. I mean, I'm assuming he's going to play very distant from his ego, which is something we've seen before. And on a map like this, where it can be a little bit hard for some of those brawlers to even reach the save, it can help to just, you know, place the ego ahead, shield it up, and get a couple free shots on the save. And if anyone wants to body block, well, they'll probably take a ton of damage. So I don't necessarily hate the approach, but I mean, so far it's not what he's doing, and there's still winning control-wise by a little bit, but that might not last for that long.
Yeah, Thyrocrow gets into his mech again, but did take a lot of damage when he started to do so, but finally answering back against Kyodog now, might be able to find the swipe, but doesn't hit anybody with it, and that's going to be disappointing for him. Down goes Kyodog, though, with a nice pinch coming in from Pekka. We see the Penny turret established, but looks like Pekka's just going to go for this damage, and you can't blame him for it either. First signs of damage from either team, and Motep's got to jump too, and that can be pretty disastrous for VT Zim if he doesn't move out quickly.
Motep is very low HP, but he's able to reposition and maybe start healing back up. We'll do so very slowly. Tufa looking to push up as well. They're accepting the base race here, despite quite a big heads up. The Firecrow wasn't in his mag, but he is now, and that makes quite a decent difference when it comes to DPS, as the mech is gonna get so much more damage done onto the safe. Just trying to catch up, but I don't know if this was the play from Qlash.
I mean, they are catching up, but with that body respawning, it slowed them down quite a lot. Firecrow out of mech now, and both Qlash members are on the safe. VT Zim's going to be joining them shortly as well. 37% down left on Zest, safe, but Qlash, they're only on 17. They're slowly catching up. Someone needs to be pinching in on 2 here with Pekka. Eventually, Firecrow looks like he's going to do it, the jump forward, but Motep might go down here. And Zest are just over-aggressive. They need to just get the defense and move up gradually. And it looks like we might be seeing a comeback from this Qlash.
Yeah, I mean, some misplays and some poor decisions from Zest and suddenly Qlash are popping off.
The head seems to go down, but clearly the opposite for when they win, as they're smiling, and it's almost pretty much even Stevens at this point, so it's not like they're even in an incredible spot.
Game 2. Starting off, and Motep is very aggressive. Knows the 8-bit is not going to be as powerful without the damage booster, but powerful enough with the help of Dog to still take him down. And now the power booster, the damage booster rather, is available. And Dog gets Firecrow outside of his mech, but Dog gets outside of existence.
Yeah, a little bit of damage coming down now as well, but Firecrow is going to go down, and Tufa just getting this mortar up, establishing it in the same position as last time, and Pekka having a little bit of a better matchup, not being against his Penny, but Tufa just put himself in a great spot. Salty Barrel down as well, Firecrow trying to find the swipe, just uses it on that turret, tried to find Tufa as well, but the pinch will be able to secure that one out. Dog going very aggressive though, finds the cycle, and this is damage as well. Qlash put themselves in a wonderful position, 31 del and taken 0.
Now Pekka gets reset on his healing, which will slow down the progress Zest can do when it comes to retaking the mid. The damage booster as well is annoying. So is the mortar, and just overall so much utility that Qlash have available to them. And I like how they're playing this one out. Firecrow at last is going to be inside of his mech, but it didn't last for very long, and he's mid HP on the regular brawler, so that doesn't really help. Motep jumps in, gets a kill into Tufa, but they're already 63% behind, and Dog is able to get a nice super off. Firecrow just in the nick of time will get the kill, but damage may have been down. 57% lead now in favor of Qlash.
Yeah, you got to start to question how late is too late for Zest to start making the move. Obviously, a game down in the set as well, but Firecrow in his mech and getting some damage done. Mortar established as well, and Zest still in control, but regardless of all this control, they haven't done that much. They still need 38% more, and Motep's surely going to be going down to 2 for here. Dog's getting some great damage on Pekka, but the jump in over the top, that could be what it needs. 20% needed now. Firecrow's still alive, but Pekka getting pushed back.
Firecrow, low HP. Jumps out of the mech now, but still manages to find Dog, and at last it seems like Qlash behind the rest of the SA East competitors when it came to the leaderboards, when it comes to points, but they've already called out. They should be in second place now. Every point they can get is going to get them, well, not only in a safer position when it comes to making it to the last chance qualifiers at the end of the year. There is a spot straight to Worlds in this region, and they might just try to contest it.
Yeah, well, bans being Stu, RT, and Ruffs to the side of Zest. Spike, Squeak, and Janet for the side of Qlash. I like it, it's pretty good. Max going to be the first one of Qlash for pick-wise. Gives him that speed, obviously probably going to be playing through that mid, so a lot of mids still on the table for Zest to kind of pick, but for the South American style of play, I think Max is probably a good pick to take.
I don't mind it. I really don't mind it. I think he can do quite all right. It should be deterring their opposition from going for something like a Gene, but I still feel like you can go Gene if you really want to, and yeah, they'll go Gene regardless. In theory, Max is somewhat of a counter, but yeah, it's more of a counter when you pick it the other way around, right? I feel like Gene still can absolutely hit the pulls against the Max if she's careless, and even if he doesn't hit the Max, anyone else is still going to be a big problem. If they get pulled, it should be a free kill if the teamwork is good enough, or if he has enough damage to single-handedly take them down. So I don't mind this approach from Zest. I think you can pick Gene into Max. It's not necessarily ideal, but if you play it well enough, I think they can make work of it.
Yeah, well, I must say I really do like the Penny. We've seen Penny just thrive so many times throughout the monthly finals yesterday and today during this South America as well. So really solid pick. Salty Barrel on one of these lanes obviously going to be so strong when someone comes aggressive, splash through it, get the big damage in. It's very good. I will say with Spike kind of banned out, with Ruffs banned out, it becomes less favorable, but still can do decent work against that Ems if it keeps its range.
Yeah, this is an interesting one. Not necessarily the brawler we see the most. I feel like it got a bit of a rise in play time and play rate about a month to 2 months ago. But it's died down just a little bit this month, at least so far in the monthly finals. Not a bad pick though. Definitely a brawler that can still have a lot of impact, and they'll go Otis to close out this comp. I have 2 anti-tanks ready in case Zest may want to go on the more aggressive side of things.
Yeah, I mean, I like the Otis pick. It's very good. Fat Splatter can cover a lot of this grass down one of the sides, and obviously with the mute as well, it's so solid. But against something like a Penny that has so much stuff that can tank it, a mortar, a salty barrel, the mute does become a little less as strong, but the Fat Splatter becomes a little bit better and can get a lot more value off the back of that as well. So solid. Zest going to have their last pick, and they're going to go with Crow. If it can get the slows in the right circumstances, pair it with the gene pull, and as you said, gene pull's not out of the question just because they're playing a max with a bit more mobility in the mid. You stick a slow on it, it can 100% hit, and even without one, you've got the chance anyway.
Yeah, I agree. I feel like the Crow pick is going to be quite important here for Zest. If they can get the right slows at the right time, they could find a lot of value, but it's easier said than done, and we should be jumping in really shortly here for Crystal Arcade, where Zest are hoping to take us all the way to a 5th as Qlash. I mean, that more than prefer to just end things right here, right now.
Yeah, we'll see how that plays out for them. 2 gems instantly picked up off the start by Kyodog, so pretty good start for them. Knockback surely there for Tufa as well, and he cleans up that side. Will be able to do the same on the other. We're actually not going to be using the slow, and he still wins this one, even with the shield being popped. So great play from BT's in. Firecrow falls as well. Kyodog with 4, and what a start for Qlash.
Yeah, that's looking solid here for Qlash, as they won't be playing the Gene mid for a second, as it was the Penny that had to hold on to the area for the time being until Firecrow would come back. They do have a gem, but Qlash have 5. Even though a pull is available for Zest, Kyodog has more than most brawlers the ability to try to deal with it. Tufa, not quite as mobile of a brawler in general, but still manages to very nicely juke that Gene pull. And with a team wipe here, Qlash should more than be able to lock in a countdown.
Yeah, and Zest are just looking defeated. They haven't won a single lane the whole game. I'm pretty sure they haven't even got a kill yet. VTZM might be the first one who dies now, though, but Tufa cleaning up and getting some great damage down. A little phase shift away, and Pekka's going to fall as well. And now some people start to die, but not the gem carrier, sadly, for Zest. And Qlash will be going on to match point in the next game to be able to take the South American.
Left in them to keep fighting. As now they have their backs against the wall, and it's the moment where it becomes the most important to fight. Qlash again was a good start, some good mid presence, and just playing it incredibly carefully, not willing to give anything away.
Yeah, well, now Kyodog starting with 4 again. A little bit better for Zest this time, though. They've got one of the sides locked down. Tufa's got the other, though, and they don't really want to be feeding him super. A little knockback coming through, and Kyodog looking for the trade. Does get it and trying to hold this right-hand lane, as it is easier to retake that mid than one of the sides, and VTZM coming straight down that right now.
Gem-wise, it's not as big of a gap as last game, especially as Moitep does win the left lane. That's going to create some space for Zest to navigate through the map and get a bit more control overall. Crow has pull, but Kyodog is going to fall back anyways as he tries to heal up just a little bit, and he's playing it aggressive, probably hoping to bait that pull from Firecrow.
Yeah, well, a little bit better for Zest this time. VTZM looking for his mute, but can't quite find it. Pekka's got his jump as well, and we have a little bit of a slow available for 2 from this round side. If he can get up to the bush, it's going to be great, but what a pull from Firecrow there as well. Gets him straight through the wall and gets the gems back in their hands. Totally different game than what we saw in the first signs of a mute there as well on the right-hand side from VTZM, but gets killed by Pekka straight away. 7 seconds, and nobody's getting up in time for this.
Yeah, really well done by Zest. What a clean game on their end, and just not
to do the exact same again. Otherwise, Qlash will be taking this game. Still match point. Let's not forget on that one as well. Fat Splatter going to be used early on by VTZM and actually just clear past Pekka rather than hitting him. Looking still like he's able to be doing a decent enough job on his own, and great pinch from Tufa there as well. Do see VTZM push back, but all 3 members of Zest are in one zone, and Kyodog starting off with 4 yet again.
Good stuff from Qlash, and solid early game, but a nice pickup from Firecrow. The pull not quite going to be as smooth. That guy's pushing up, and Tufa can't quite take him down. Shoots on the other side, and his super would have gone to kill, but just didn't quite have enough time to make that happen.
Yeah, Firecrow looking for a pull now, waiting for someone to pick up these gems, and Tufa does get a couple of them, but Kyodog picks up the rest, and that's still 5-3, regardless of Zest having a lot of control of this mid. He has his pull, and Kyodog needs to be less reckless, because that seems to be what's hurting them so far.
It really does. I like the ideas of taking some risks here and there, but it does seem like he's just not really being able to do everything he wants to get done in the mid. A nice dodge of that pull from Firecrow. Tufado is low HP. Kyodog will claim the kill onto Motep on the left. Now suddenly Qlash are really not that far behind gem-wise. Just a couple. And after they pick up those gems in the mid that spawn, they're back to being all even.
Yeah, they don't even have the gems on anybody who wants them for the side of Qlash either. Kyodog's surely going to be the one who wants to carry these gems, but Tufa's got them, and then also up top as well, VT Zim's got 2. 8-8, and it's an even game, but there's the pull, and they're just playing so risky, and there's just no need for it. Qlash are going to be on the back foot now, with Zest having this big countdown. Pekka going to get some shots through as well up top, and VT Zim too low to do anything. Going to be brought down by those flurry of Gene shots, too, for the last one standing, and he doesn't stand for very long either. We're going to be seeing a set number 5 as Qlash just plays so reckless.
Of South America.
And it's going to be on hot zone as well. We're going to be seeing splits. Obviously, the only unbreakable walls are going to be in the mid here. Did you see that? Obviously, really solid combo of the Colt and B coming down, but with that mid portion of the map being unbreakable, it definitely becomes a little bit less viable. And I'd imagine we'll see quite a lot of those tanky units possibly coming down, as they were always so strong as well. The Franks, the Primos, stuff like that can just spam the lane and just ensure that nobody goes down. Bands-wise, I'm just curious to see Max come out first again. I'm not sure how I feel about that at all on Split.
Yeah, I don't really love it either. I feel like there's just so much stuff that's better. I think there's a lot of throwers that are very strong on this map that are available right now. I'm thinking obviously Tick, also of course Sprout, but just, yeah, Max is an interesting way to approach things. I like what you said as well about tanks. They're really decent on this map, or at least think your ideas. Firecrow is going to be the next brawler to be picked up on the side of Zest. They're first for this 5th set, and I don't know how much I love it. I don't really know what his plan is with his CP either, if he wants to have quicker rotations toward his mates on the other side, or if he just wants to be able to dash in if he gets someone low enough. Both would be providing a decent amount of value, but Pam is going to be locked in now by Zest, and I somewhat like it, but I feel like it can get overwhelmed by the lack of damage.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of feel like Zest's comp so far is just that little bit better, and maybe Qlash have let their lead go, having the first pick go as well, and they're going to go with Griff. We know that's a pretty solid pick out here in that South American region. Going to have that wall break capability as well with the piggy banks, so going to be very solid and might make that Max a little bit more viable, but I still think I kind of side with Zest so far.
Yeah, I am too. We'll see what the final brawler pick is going to be for Qlash, and then right after the one for Zest. It's an interesting draft for the least. I'm really curious to see how that plays out.
Yeah, well, last pick is going to be the Meg, and I mean, maybe my mind's completely changed now. As soon as I see a Meg, I start to favor that comp no matter what it's with, and it's not with anything bad either. The Max is going to be able to give it speed. If the Griff can get the wall breaks, then it's going to be pretty solid. And, I questioned the Max at the start, but now that Zest have kind of let these brawlers trickle into their hands, open it up and play with the speed with such a tanky brawler like Meg, who's going to have mech every time she spawns, I don't know if I can see Zest win this. It's going to have to be a very good last pick.
It's going to be Colette, which I'm not sure what to think about. I mean, it doesn't really have any fantastic matchups. It does a pretty decent amount of damage to deal with Meg inside of her mech, but when it's Meg outside of her mech, suddenly the damage is not quite as valuable, and even though it's still fine, I don't feel like it's necessarily the highest impact final pick either. To me, on paper, I don't want to say this looks even, because I just simply don't really know what this looks like, but it looks like both sides definitely stand a chance.
Yeah, I mean, both sides have got a pretty decent comp. I like the bringing in Colette. Obviously, as you said, it's good against the mech, but not good against the other brawler, which is kind of the opposite of the majority of other brawlers playing against it. But Gonna see if the Grey is gonna be able to use these TPs to his advantage. An early piggy bank to break up the back wall gives him that little bit more maneuverability and that ability to kind of avoid a few more of these shots.
So far, both teams just sticking to their own zones, not really daring to overextend, and we do get a TP eventually from VT Zim. It's not quite enough to capitalize. There's still a player from Qlash in the zone and just getting percentage after percentage.
Yeah, Pekka just sitting on it nicely, and it's just even Stevens against both sides, but Motep's getting some TPs in, and it's going well. He's TPing in, TPing in out, getting some percentage, and they've got an 8% lead just because he's making these aggressive moves down this left-hand side and actually trying to push, unlike Kaidog, who he's trying, but he just can't.
2 minutes left, and it's still close, but Zest still have a tiny little bit of a lead. If they could push up and get into the zone, that could be huge. This is going to be enough time.
Speed's there and the push forward, but Motep did just secure some more percentage. Kaidog going to go for it now, but can't even get past Pekka. Never mind get onto the zone and get past those who are respawning. Pekka trying to push towards 2 for now. Not only got Gadgets left, looking for the TP out, but actually finds his teammate TPing in and dominating. A little bit of a bait and switch there from Zest, and it's looking beautiful for them. Kaidog's going to go for the zone, but going to get some percentage. I just don't know if they're able to fend off Zest for the rest of this game.
I really don't know either. They don't need a whole lot near Zest to get to match point. Qlash already hand one. Zest are hoping to get yet another one, as right now the pet's on top of the right zone is not looking too bad here for Zest. They're defending still for now. Too far, trying to get Motep outside of the left. The super comes through here from Pekka. Tufa versus Pekka on the left, and it seems like Pekka is able to get more and more percentages as VTZim does climb into the right zone, but I don't know if that will do it as Firecrime.
Finals, but Qlash, they're going to want this game. They're going to want the next, and they're going to want to make an upset.
Match point, Zest. Kaidog off the bat, taking a big amount of damage. Tufa already out of the mech, and that might be a little bit of a problem. Motep, once he's full HP, might want to go for a TP play, especially now that he gets a tag. Yeah, he's going for the finish, but nice bait and switch here as Kaidog comes back as reinforcement and ensures that Qlash win that early fight on the left side. TP again from Motep, but this time Tufa is ready. He's in the mech, and Kaidog will survive as well with 123 HP. Pekka not quite happy about that. He's going to punish him for overextending. Or percentage-wise, we're quite even, but I think that Zest have quite a considerable amount more on their own side, whereas Qlash, they managed to invade quite a bit.
Yeah, it does seem that way, and it is 1% defining it at the moment, but now it's extended a little bit more by Qlash. Motep's going to TP in, needs to deal with Tufa, but at the same time, got to TP out, got to get away, but the swipe's going to get him before he can get out. Now Qlash looking really, really good to be able to take this to a double match point. Little Pam turret placed down defensively. All three of them defending now, but they have got a lead that they're not going to be able to come back from if they don't get on like now. And a gorgeous super from VTZim kept them all so low, and yet another one as well. Firecrow falls, just Pekka, and he misses the super. Double match point inbound.
Yeah, there's nothing that Zest can do at this point besides...
We'll be taking it all. Starting things off, then we need to see if they're going to be able to get the same start, the same kind of breaks as they did in the previous one. VTZim breaking up the grass, not the wall to start things off, and we're seeing the Grey over the right-hand side this time, and moving Pekka over to the left. And it's going to be a quick response from Tufa as he rotates to the right.
Kaidog pushing forward, Pekka pops again, but it's not enough. Kaidog takes him out, and although the toolbox is gone for Tufa, start isn't half bad for them either.
Shots through from Pekka now. TP from Motep does get the Meg out of the mech, but can't find much more. Pekka, though, getting some great percentage here as well. Super inbound also does connect it, but not enough with that shield of Tufa to be able to get him down, and actually gave him the mech along the way. Fully secured on this right-hand side now for Zest, but 12% also added on top of that the left-hand zone as well.
bit of a massive fight, but one where Kaidog finds Motep. TP from Pekka, survivors 160 HP. Can he heal back up? Gotcha Gadget is useful, but I don't know if it's going to be enough. 3 HP, Kaidog pops speed, and he's hungry for those skills. Motep is going to fall. It's looking like even though Zest have built up a nice lead, Qlash are catching up.
Yeah, 2 for playing this mid, not knowing which way they're going to go, waiting for that TP in, and then Motep's going to go for it as well. They're in the lead as well. This is a 3-person push onto the left-hand side. The turret's going to TP out, so they're not going to have that to tank just yet, but it seems like they're all giving up. Not a good situation for them to be in. VT, Zim, and the boys are going to go down, and Zest are going to be the champions of the sub-region of South America East in the Brawl Stars Championship.
Zest have done it again. Oh baby, a triple for Zest. All 3 monthly finals picked up so far this year. Near perfect track record, and still a very good performance from Qlash, their best one yet, but just not quite enough this month either.
Yeah, I'm not sure if he's saying that he's carrying his team in his backpack or what, or if he's just walking off and going, but who knows at this point. It was a hard